Good morning. This is Jason Dean coming live at you again for another Film Fanatic show. It is Sunday, 10:47. It's kind of a nice rainy Sunday. We've been getting so much rain the last two summers, almost like to a degree where it was like a kind of a washout. But this year has been very little rain. Actually, it's been summer summer heat every day, full on. And yesterday was pretty hot every day. It's been pretty sunny. But it's nice to have some rain. We definitely need some rain, and it's nice to have a Sunday, lazy Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, I'm going to go see the legendary Sun Ra Orchestra today, or tonight, which I'm super excited. Big legendary figures, or Sun Ra was a legendary figure in the world of like avant-garde and free jazz music. Also, a huge pioneer in the world of, I think too, to for what it is, electronic music. You know, he was a real pioneer with using synthesizers and really outside of the box kind of experimentation. Huge influence. I got a this giant Sun Ra box set a few years back, and I love it. It's just amazing. So he passed away a few years back, and but the orchestra, the band he started has been active ever constantly. They're constantly touring, but they're coming to the Waldorf Theater tonight, and I'm super excited. So that'll be tonight, and I had some fun shows tonight. Had a really or this week had a lot of gigs, and it was great, and had a really fun show, a quantum show on Tuesday. This past Tuesday, we played at the Camden Amphitheater, which is we've Quantum's played at the Camden Amphitheater for years, almost since we started the band, probably almost 9 years. It's kind of crazy. We play usually every summer. We usually play like on a Sunday date, and it's usually like in August. And we play in the amphitheater, and we basically play like an hour and a half to a 2 hour. Usually we play like a 2 hour set, and it's great. We get to mix it up and play different. We play some of our ambient stuff, but then we play some of our more heavier dance tracks, and but it's just a blast. I really love doing that gig. And this year, we it was a little bit different. We did it. We played on this past Tuesday, and it was on a Tuesday night. But it was actually great. We had a nice little crowd, and it was super fun. We try to keep the sets whenever we play shows. We try to keep the sets, you know, very different, or just trying to always inject some kind of new energy. We try to always vary the sets quite a bit. We improvise a little bit. So, and speaking of Sun Ra, like Sun Ra is a really huge influence on that band. With the synthesizer element, the kind of the avant-garde nature, and so I'm really excited. And the next, we have a few more shows coming up with Quantum. The next show that we have coming up is going to be at the Poor Farm in Union. We've played there quite a bit too. We've played there probably at least 3 or 4 times, maybe more. And I really love that place too. It's a really great brew pub. It's in Union, Maine. So we'll be playing there in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for a bunch of promotion for that. So yeah, and recently I just did a video or review. It's up on the channel. It's been up on the channel for a couple of days, but I did a review on the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, which I really loved. And so check it out if you're on the channel. For some reason, Facebook or the internet is being a little bit of a pain in the ass. Usually when I do a video, I share it on Facebook, and then I share. Then I do a review. I share it to a couple of pages on Facebook, and then I usually do a review for it, a regular, formal kind of printed review. But for some reason, it's not Facebook is not allowing me to share it. It's really weird. So I don't know if it's some kind of glitch or whatever it is, but it's on the channel. I can still upload the videos to the channel. That will hopefully work out where I can just post like I normally do. I have not been able to keep a regular schedule with this channel. I've been doing videos when I can and when I have the time. So, but for the most part, all the videos I've recorded and that I had, for the most part, planned, are all up now, and so check them out. At some point, I will probably go back to my kind of regular schedule where I do a video almost every day or close to it. Now lately it's been every couple of weeks, or maybe once a week, just due to scheduling time, just not having quite enough time to do the videos like I want to. But I'm still doing them, of course, and I'll eventually my schedule will change where I can go back to doing them pretty regularly. So today's show is on a movie that I've been wanting to get to. Again, it was the thing I just didn't have quite the amount of time that I wanted, but very excited to do this video. I went to Bull Moose about 2 weeks ago. In Waterville, and I had not been to that location in quite a while. I was like pretty disappointed with. It felt like their titles, a lot of the movies that they offered, that they were selling, especially because when I go there, when I go to Bull Moose, I just try to buy, real low budget exploitation movies. I still buy, quote unquote normal movies, but I try to spend most of my time and money on finding all the cool weird shit. So Bull Moose was, I don't know what was going on. That location in Waterville was kind of like dwindling down, like less and less titles in that genre. So I started going to the Bull Moose in Bangor, which is really really great, and I've been buying every time I go to buy a bunch of movies. I usually go there. So, but about 2 weeks ago, I had a gig in Waterville, and so I was pretty close to Bull Moose. So I went to Bull Moose after the gig, and I went and I was just blown away by the selection that they had. All of a sudden, they had all of these additional areas for these kinds of movies. They have these new sections, or a new section now that's called the boutique section. A lot of these indie movies or exploitation movies, a lot of the labels that put out these movies are referred to as like boutique labels. Like you have Severin, Blue Underground, Mondo Macabre. The list. There's a ton of great Synapse, ton of great labels, and I don't know. It's kind of funny that they call them the boutique thing. I don't know, this kind of weird hipster thing, but it's all Vinegar Syndrome. But and Arrow, they all kind of specialize in the world of exploitation cinema, and they've been releasing so many like unbelievable movies. So now they have these whole new sections at Bull Moose where they really show almost the entire, or have almost the entire catalog or catalogs of these different labels in store, and it's amazing. I couldn't believe it. So next time I go to buy some movies, I'm definitely going to go back there. Blown away. So anyway, I got this one movie that I had never seen before, and again, that's been the recent trend for a while now, where when I go to Bull Moose, I buy, most of the movies I end up buying are movies I've never seen before. And this movie, Accion Mutante, is this amazing Spanish. I don't even. It's such a hard movie to describe. It's kind of like a cross between. I was telling a friend about it, and it's an amazing film. It's a total like exploitation movie. It's a little bit later. It came out in 1993. It's a Spanish movie. It was directed by Alex del Iglesia, and it was actually this movie is actually produced by Pedro Almodovar, who is a incredible, one of the greatest Spanish directors. He's made lots of just incredible films. I mean, I think he's one of the greatest filmmakers around. He makes all of these really great kind of melodramas, but does have films that really cross or that push the boundaries. He's such an amazing director. All About My Mother. He's directed Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down. So many wonderful films. Most of his films, Penelope Cruz, he has a long working relationship with her. Just an incredible director. But he produced this movie, which is wild, totally wild, because this movie is so bonkers. Again, it came out in 1993, and I was describing this movie. This was put out by Severin, and I was describing this movie to a friend, and I don't know how to describe. Yeah, it's totally insane, but it's definitely it's a heavy duty science fiction movie. Definitely has elements of horror, tons of action, like incredible action, and it's like a cross between like Blade Runner meets Brazil, but kind of if you took both of those movies and put them in a blender and and process that product through, kind of the grindhouse school. It's a total like grindhouse movie. It's a later movie, '93. The grindhouse cinema, was long, kind of officially dead long, by that period. Actually even before, kind of the grindhouse exploitation cinema ended in like the early '90s. I'd say late '80s. Like you have this '60s where it was huge. All of the amazing exploitation movies that were coming out, all the American exploitation movies, and especially all the European movies. You had all of the incredible giallo films. And '60s and '70s was probably its biggest period, and then the early '80s. And once you got past the year of like, I don't know, maybe '85, or I should say a little bit later, maybe '88, '90. Once the '90s were really coming up, that whole kind of genre died. A lot of the drive-ins had closed. That whole kind of movie experience was gone. 42nd Street was gone, was no more. So things really changed due to closures of the theater, but then VHS ushered in this whole new era, and then eventually DVD. But this movie, Accion Mutante, is definitely out of that genre. Like it's a pure exploitation movie, but it's like completely bonkers and insane. And I had never seen this movie, but it's got some of the best action that I've seen in a long time. It's very much a post-apocalyptic film. It's basically about the story of this film is basically about this group of these. It's a post-apocalyptic set in the future sci-fi movie, and it's basically about this group of these mutant kind of soldiers or warriors that form this like organization, and they basically they become labeled, or they commit these terrorist acts, and they're basically trying to overthrow the government, and the government tracks them down and tries to kill them, and it's amazing. It's a beautifully shot movie. It's totally bonkers crazy. It definitely has a Terry Gilliam, like I said, the Brazil kind of vibe. It's definitely like really bonkers. There's a lot of social commentary about, kind of a futurist dystopian society, but it's not heavy handed. It's just awesome. And again, I never seen this movie before. There's like all kinds of special features on this movie within this package, which I have not gotten to yet, which I'm super excited to eventually dig into. But this movie completely kicks ass. I was super excited after I watched it. Never had seen it before. It was funny. I watched it right after I watched, and I did a show on it. Also, check it out on Flash Gordon. I just recently bought Flash Gordon, and there's kind of similarities because both of those movies are very low budget, but they're just the spectacle. Visually, they're just stunning, and this movie is right up there. So it was really interesting watching these really big, kind of visually stunning, super low budget exploitation movies back to back. And that's the thing that's so interesting about this movie is it's like the imagination that's used in this movie and the creativity is just like uh, you know through the roof, completely through the roof. And but yet it still has this really low budget vibe. It's really grimy. It's really kind of a slimy movie, but yet it has this huge scope to it, and it's a real interesting, like Flash Gordon, where it has those two kinds of kind of worlds together. You have like a little bit of a big budget Hollywood vibe, but then it's still like very much in the exploitation world. And to have to what they were able to do with this film is astounding because it looks like they didn't have very much money, but yet the production value is just like unbelievable. But amazing movie. I'm really excited to watch this again. I'm really excited to own this movie. I'm super psyched. I had never seen it. It was a first time purchase. So definitely check this movie out. It's totally bonkers. Thanks again, and we will see you next time. Peace.